Think about the next training weekend or practical league match on your calendar. The one where every draw has to be legal, every shot accountable, and the mindset anchored in responsible, safety-focused reps. You want a sidearm that survives thousands of rounds without draining the mortgage, because budget in our world means smart investment, not compromise. Today we hunt the sleeper hits and storied classics that deliver reliability, support your skills, and keep maintenance costs sane. These pistols and revolvers have track records that outlast trends and still command respect on modern firing lines. Stay with me, because the difference between merely buying a gun and owning a lifetime tool lies in choosing the platforms that blend proven engineering, easy logistics, and durability you can trust. "9mm, 15+1 capacity, 7.36 inches long by 1.26 wide and 5.04 high. The Glock 19 defines the baseline. Built from 34 component parts hardened through Tenifer, it shrugs off sweat and holster carry, yet field strips faster than competitors, leaving time for dry fire reps. The cold hammer-forged hexagonal rifling seals propellant gases, so even after high-count United States Practical Shooting Association, practice you get consistent velocity and manageable bore fouling. Practical shooters gravitate to it because the polymer frame flexes to dampen recoil while remaining lighter than a Czeska Zbrojovka 75 or SIG P226. Safe Action Engineering covers a trigger safety tab, firing pin block, and drop safety. Yet there is no external lever to fumble during a draw. Reliability anecdotes span iced slides, mud, and 200,000 round endurance cycles, and that matters when your training calendar leaves no gap for gunsmith downtime. Expect Generation 5 pricing in the $550 to $650 range, modular optic system cuts adding $100, with police trade Generation 3 pistols dipping into the $400 bracket. "9mm, 16+1 capacity, 8.1 inches long, 5.4 high, roughly 1.4 wide, and weighing about 35 ounces, the CZ75 delivers the first true step up in feel from polymer duty pistols. From the utilitarian simplicity of the Glock, we move to the refined mechanics and superior ergonomics of the CZ75, whose deep beaver tail, sculpted front strap, and internal slide rails keep the bore axis low, so transitions between US PSA targets feel glued to your line of sight. The single action brake settles near 4 to 5 pounds with minimal creep, while its double action stroke remains manageable for decocking carry or practical defensive stages. Standard B models add a firing pin block and an ambidextrous manual safety, giving shooters both drop protection and cocked and locked capability absent on striker peers. All-steel heft tames 9mm impulse better than the lighter Glock 19 and still undercuts the recoil of a SIG P226 Legion thanks to that rail geometry. Expect $600 to $750 for new production, less for surplus police imports, and you still get a cold hammer forged barrel and magazines compatible with widely available Mechgar spares. Whether you run duty rigs, IDPA, or want a soft shooting bedside pistol, the CZ75's mix of old-world craftsmanship and modern service reliability brings attainable luxury without exotic maintenance. "9mm, 15+1 capacity, 7.7 inches long, 1.5 wide, 5.5 high. The SIG Sauer P226 locks into hand with confidence. The CZ75's refined handling sets the stage for the legendary SIG Sauer P226, born from the Army XM9 trials, where it outperformed the Beretta 92 yet lost on cost. A billet stainless slide over an alloy frame, cold hammer-forged barrel, and precision-milled rails create its ball-bearing glide, so shooters get returned to zero on each press. Nitron finishing shrugs off saltwater, sweat, and holster wear, explaining Navy SEAL service and lifespans past 100,000 rounds with spring swaps. A firing pin block, rebounding hammer, and spring-damped decocker keep it drop safe without 1911-style sweeps. And though heavier than a Glock 19, mass and stage double action to single action trigger, steady IDPA, duty, and bedside use where the first shot breaks clean. Expect $900 to $1,100 for standard models, $1,200 plus for Legion trims, and trade-ins near $700. A rational spend for shooters valuing mechanical certainty over gadget-driven novelty. Nine mm, 13+1 capacity, roughly 7.8 inches long, 5 inches tall, and 1.4 inches wide, the Browning High Power bridges historical prestige with daily usability. From the modern tactical prowess of the P226, we step back to the original Wonder 9, whose double-stack magazine proved you could have service capacity without bulk. Dieudonné Sive's Belgian locked breech design keeps the slide slim, so when you index the tangent or notch sights on USPSA or IDPA silhouettes, the pistol points as naturally as many polymer compacts, yet recoils softer thanks to its 32-ounce steel frame. The single-action trigger typically breaks around 5 pounds with minimal overtravel, and while the magazine disconnect adds a hint of creep, it doubles as a safety feature for administrative handling. Many armorers tune or remove it for competition, but even stock, the reset promotes accurate double taps. A positive manual thumb safety allows cocked and locked carry reminiscent of a 1911, yet the high power feels trimmer, making concealed carry beneath a jacket realistic while still offering duty-ready reliability, proven across decades of Commonwealth and NATO service. Expect $800 to $1,200. .45 ACP, 7+1 capacity, roughly 8.5 inches long, 5.5 high, and 1.3 wide. The Colt 1911 remains a forged steel government model built to soak up recoil and deliver predictable handling. The high power's legacy naturally leads to its spiritual predecessor and American icon, the Colt 1911, whose adoption by the U.S. Army on March 29, 1911, established a standard service sidearm that still anchors duty holsters, bowling pin tables, and action pistol leagues. Cocked and locked carry pairs a tactile manual thumb safety with the grip safety, and Series 80 variants add a firing pin block, giving confidence to practical shooters who demand both speed and mechanical security. The single action trigger travels straight back, breaks like a glass rod, and resets microscopically, so fast splits feel closer to a tuned race gun than any striker-fired budget option, while the natural grip angle plants sights on target without conscious correction. Slow, heavy 45 ACP loads generate broad wound channels with manageable slide velocity, translating to controllable recoil impulse despite greater mass than a Glock 19. Expect standard production Colts or Springfields in the $800 to $1,000 range. A smart investment because frames and slides are infinitely rebuildable. Aftermarket support is endless, and every scratch just tightens the fit. Proper lubrication and occasional spring refreshes keep these pistols printing tight clusters at 25 yards decade after decade. They wear in, they do not wear out. .357 Magnum 6-shot revolver, roughly 9.5 inches long with a 5.5-inch height. The Ruger GP100 rides on an investment cast steel frame that feels like a bank vault in your hand. After the Colt 1911's blend of legacy and finesse, the GP100 represents the brute force option for the shooter who wants apocalypse-proof simplicity. A triple locking cylinder, tank-like top strap, and a transfer bar safety that prevents discharge unless the trigger is fully depressed. In duty or backcountry roles, .357 Magnum offers deep penetration and reliable terminal ballistics, yet the gun digests soft .38 Special for training without punishing your wrists, so you can tune your loadout from home defense to trail protection without changing platforms. Compared to a Smith & Wesson 6.86, the GP100 weighs similar yet soaks up recoil better because the frame is solid and the lockwork tolerates high round counts without loosening. The double-action trigger is utilitarian from the factory but polishes with use, while the single-action brake invites precision shots on steel silhouettes or bowling pins. Expect street prices in the $700 to $850 range for the 4-inch model, a modest outlay for a revolver known to pass from one generation of shooters to the next, with only spring replacements and occasional timing checks. Every pistol and revolver on this list proves that budget-friendly can still mean heirloom-grade engineering. capable of outlasting fashion cycles and even owners when properly cared for. Choose based on how you shoot, how you train, and how you plan to maintain it years from now, because true value lives in durability, proven performance, and timeless design rather than the price tag alone. Research local laws before purchasing, get professional training from a certified instructor, practice safe storage and handling. What's in your holster? Let me know in the comments.